question is, do I sit like back here or do I sit up at the front?
Hey booktubers, it's the Hufflepuffle here, and today I'm going to be doing a book talk. Long time no book talk, and I finally am getting around to doing a book talk, and today I'm going to be book talking Zenith by Sasha Alsberg and Lindsay Cummings. It's so good. It's currently self-published, so you can find it only online and on ebooks, so you can't really have a physical copy of it. So I just downloaded it on my phone off of iBooks because that was the easiest method for me, because I downloaded whilst at VidCon and I needed a quick, easy way. I forgot to bring my Kobo with me, so I just downloaded it on my phone and I read it on the plane back from VidCon, and I read it in like 30 minutes. It's not very long. It's Zenith, the Andromeda Saga Part 1, so it's only Part 1. It's not that long. It's a really fast read, and I think that you should pick it up immediately if you have not read it yet, because it is really, really good. Okay, so all in all, I give it 5 out of 5 stars because it's a fantastic read. I really enjoyed it. Basically, I think the way I would describe it is it's kind of Guardians of the Galaxy meets Pirates meets kick-ass female characters meets like a cast of villains. It's like the coolest thing ever. Like, all of the characters are a little bit evil. None of them are super goody two-shoes heroes. They're all kind of a little bit messed up, which is super cool. There's a huge cast of kick-ass females that we've already met in the first however many pages it was. All of the characters are extremely well developed and well written and very realistic. Even though it's in space and they're kind of aliens, they're very realistic. As far as plot goes, it was a pretty interesting plot. I really liked the progression of events, and I really want to read the next one as soon as possible because it kind of is a little bit of a cliffhanger. It's not really a cliffhanger, but it's kind of like a, I just need to know what happens next. And I wanted to see more of these characters and see where the plot develops from here. I'm really interested in how the plot is going to develop from here. It was a really great setup, this first book, but it was also fast-paced enough that it didn't feel like a setup. It felt like you were jumping straight into the story, but it was also a good setup for the rest of the story to continue. So it's not a story where you're like, I don't need more. You definitely need more. If you've not read Zenith Part 1, please leave now if you don't want to be spoiled. If you don't care about spoilers, I'm not gonna judge you, so you can stay if you really must. But if you haven't read it and you don't want spoilers, get out now, because I'm about to spoil you real good. So basically, I said it felt like a short story but a full-length novel at the same time, which I'm sure you probably understand the feeling, because it's short but it feels like you've read a full progression of a full-length novel within those short amount of pages. But it's a quick read, so you also feel like you've just read a short story. It said, of course, incredibly immersive. Oh, people are Snapchatting me. And I thought it was a wonderful, fast read. And I love the characters, as I said in the non-spoiler section. Great representation of kick-ass female characters. I think Andy is awesome. She's cool, she's calculated, but she's also like a bit tortured. So you can see she's got that rough past, but she's super kick-ass, and she's like, well, that happened and I moved on and now I'm slaying the galaxy, and it's super cool and kick-ass. I really want to know more about her past. It's kind of a mystery, and I'm like, can we get more about Andy, please? I just want to know like exactly what happened. Like, I want to know exactly what happened with Dex and exactly what happened with Kaylee. I get like that when I see like when there's like a mystery or like a thing and it's like, I had this tortured past, but like no one knows what it was actually like. I'm like, can I find out exactly what happened? Gilly is my spirit animal. I love her because she's the perfect mix of a realistic 13-year-old girl and a super kick-ass, bloodthirsty monster, and it's kind of amazing. I love her so much because she's got that emotional side, as we saw when she was crying because she didn't want to be kidnapped again, but she's also a firecracker, and I have this image of her in my head, and I can perfectly picture her, and I just really love her character. What's her name? I don't know how to pronounce it, but we're just gonna, yeah. She is like the coolest. I love the idea of a giantess, kick-ass, like, because you see like giantesses and they're like side characters, but she's like 7 feet tall. She's like, I love her friendship with Gilly. It's super adorable, and I want to know more about their backstory together and want to see where their friendship develops to in the future. But I just love their relationship so much, and I really, really want to see more of that in future books. I think she's super cool. I really appreciate the image of her and her, like, her sisterly ways, or motherly type sisterly relationship with Gilly, and I just really appreciated that, and I want to see more about her. It's like all of these characters, they all intrigued me like crazy, and I just want to know more about them. I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. I read the first like little bit of Nora's like little bit at the end, and I was like, who is this? I want to know more about this person. She seems really awesome, but like also really evil. Like, I was reading it and I was like, oh, she seems cool, like a super kick-ass queen, and then I was like, holy crap, when she was talking about like the blood, painting the walls of the castle with the blood of her enemies, and I was like, oh, savage. Do not mess with this chick. Do not mess with this queen, cause damn, she will paint her walls with your blood. Like, that gave me, I was like, oh wow, okay. We're getting, like, I knew she was kind of like the evil one from her depictions, like the evilest of the evil ones from the way that they were describing her, but like, I don't know why I wasn't expecting that, because I like, when you first meet her, you're like, oh, her planet is polluted and she's just trying to fix the environment of her planet and, you know, make everyone happy again, but holy shit, she wants to paint the walls of her palace with the blood of her enemies. Do not mess with this girl. Oh, I said she's a villain in a book full of villains that puts all male villains and other villains to shame, because I just read that little passage and I was like, oh, I like her as a villain. Obviously I don't like her because she's not a nice person, but I'm like, yeah, that's like Morgana and some other villains that I love. They're just super evil and it's really interesting. Dex. I said, seems like a bastard. I like him. Like I said, he's an interesting character, and I can't wait to read more about the dynamic with him and Andy. Okay, the governor. I kind of feel bad for him, but at the same time I'm like, it seems like the death of Kaylee wasn't actually Andy's like fault, or if it was like an accident. Like, she didn't kill her in cold blood. It was clearly an accident from the little clips that we've gotten of it being like, oh, told her to take off her harness, there was a crash. Like, that happens to people all the time. No one ever blames, and if they do blame, it's not like they're like, I'm out to get you. It's like, oh, I can't believe you did that. And then they forgive them later because it was an accident, whatever. And I want to know more about their relationship, like Kaylee and Andy. It seems like they were friends, like really close friends, and they like escaped or something because they didn't want to be like royalty. I'm not quite sure, like, what is Andy's past? Who are her parents? Where did she come from? I want to know more about that and that whole thing. I'm sure we'll get more of that in the next installments, but like, I just want to know so much more. For Valen, or whatever, the son of the governor, I want to know more about him. I'm so intrigued, like that little prologue bit, I'm like, he seems cool, and now I'm like, oh, he's kidnapped. I can't wait for them to find him and be like, ah. Also, the ship is called the Marauder, and I immediately was like, I solemnly swear that I'm up to no good. A Marauder. I don't think it's meant to be a Harry Potter reference, but in my mind I was like, yes, Harry Potter. So loved that. he'll be joining you on your mission. And I was like, that's cold. That is cold. You're gonna send him with her on her mission? Like, oh, I knew there was a catch. I knew there would be a catch. Also the swear. The Fike. That's, it amuses me. Like, that's the swear that they use in this book, and it amuses me greatly that there's this, like, new swear that Sasha and Lindsay made up. I want to know which one of you created it. Or, like, if it was a combined effort. But it's a great loophole for swearing in YA, because it's like, when they were talking about how she would, Andy would eject any other supervisor off the ship as soon as they got out of range of the governor's ships, and someone was like, what an incredibly Andromeda thing to do, and I was like, that's an incredibly kick-ass thing to do. I would do that too. Eject them off the ship, like, we're out of range of your bosses, so peace out. Also, this Dex was truly and thoroughly star-screwed. I noted that and I just said star-screwed. Amazing. There was an opening line to chapter 8, which is the chapter with Nor, and it was like the planet name was dying, and I'm like, great opening line to a chapter. How on earth do I pronounce that? Oh yes, Nor had always loved the sound of her own voice, powerful yet pure all at once. And I noted that and said, I like this chick, she's a kick-ass evil female leader. And when, at the end of the chapter, when she's like, she could see the blood, taste it, and it pleased her, I was like, savage. Wow, okay. Also, this line, it was an exhaustion Andy doubted sleep could fix. Relatable, that's me in my daily life. 5 out of 5 stars, highly recommend to anyone ever. It's so good. And yes, so leave your thoughts down below. Do you agree with me on anything? Do you disagree with me on anything? And yeah, so hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe. I know you're tired of hearing that. Now you can just stare at it obnoxiously during the whole video. Like and subscribe if you liked it. And I will see you guys next time. Hufflepuffle out.